simple majority of each house shall constitute a quorum for the transaction of business. We went further to say that, look, when they said about the issue of a vote of no confidence raised in their returns, this court has opined in a case Backward versus Jalal et al. Supreme Court opinion October 3rd, 2014, that, and I quote, the Constitution provides the framework within which the legislature operates any act, including a vote of no confidence that breaches constitutional provisions or due process shall be subject to judicial review. So we said that both parties had relied upon Article 23. And coming to page 23, in interpreting Article 33 of the Constitution, this court states unequivocally that whether a single majority is sitting or lower number, in both cases, a presiding officer defined in Article 49 of the Constitution is the Speaker, and in case of access to the Speaker. This is the court saying what the law is. That story we are explaining right now. We found certain aspect of it in the returns, in the original case that is now under review, that the clients have said, look, we did a thing of no confidence. But we said that, look, this is the law, because it said that because we have a greater number and we have this presiding officer, the deputy speaker presiding, and they didn't say where the speaker was or anything, but we called the authority to come over to us. But we said, look, both of you have depended or relied upon Article 23, and this is how we interpret Article 33. In interpreting Article 33, this will say unequivocally that whether a single majority is sitting or lower number, in both cases, a presiding officer defined in Article 49 of the Constitution is the Speaker, and in case of access, the deputy speaker. This is the law. So if we want to infuse anything, we say, no, both parties, this is what the law says. Now go and over yourself accordingly within the context. When you come and say that nobody those special police, those special police. But we said this is the law, and go and over yourself accordingly. If there is a speaker that is provided for under the Constitution, he or she is and remains the presiding officer for the transaction of business. So in essence, where is people coming from? You say the voted and this and that. How did that take place?
Your Honor, the House of Representatives, and when I say the House of Representatives, majority of them, please recall that they themselves conceded that what they call a majority of the initial 43 members of the House is independent.
Yeah, we have attached a listing there, and we say we're not going to even look at that listing because this court cannot take evidence to call those signatories and names for them to appear here and to answer to their names. We're not even going to look at it, and we did not look at it. But we say this is the law, and vote and govern yourself accordingly. So why was the presiding officer, okay, and present? Because I don't see how we come to the Constitution here that you will be sitting somewhere and call the minority when the minority under the Constitution is being headed at that time by the presiding officer designated or named by the Constitution as the Speaker.
No, I don't think your interpretation create a paralysis, a dysfunction in the hospital.
No.
Now, that
So, folks, that's the beginning of the argument yesterday in at the Supreme Court of Liberia between the embattled speaker for Nanti Kofa team of lawyers and the majority block of the House of Representative team of lawyers. So we will continue playing that. We have a lot. It is our talking point this morning, but I want to welcome the CEO who will officially take over the show this morning.
proposal.
Sorry, let me pause this. The CEO who will officially take over the show. I'm here, but like I said, I'm a little bit down with this headache, so I don't need to talk too much this morning. But we'll be here giving our little analysis on the issue as well. So, CEO, welcome.
You see, let me report to your audience that you are trying to set me up for failure because I don't fit in your shoes. I don't know how am I going to fit in your shoes. But hey, guys, welcome to Blaze 90.7 FM, and this is Wake Up Call. Wake Up Call comes your way every morning at this time, and you have been a faithful contributors, listeners. And so we want to say welcome to this program. This program today, we're going to be considering major issues of our country, moving issues, trending news, and information that we're going to be bringing to you. On top of the chain of news is the hearing of the Supreme Court of the Bill of Information that was filed by Speaker Fanatic Kofa, J. Fanatic Kofa, against the majority bloc headed by Richard Cohen. Today, the Supreme Court full bench heard the bill of information, and it was a very exciting. People are making conclusions from that hearing, and it is really heavy. And we're going to be going to some of the videos that we have. We're going to be going to some of the quotes from the Chief Justice, and we are going to be discussing. As I wait for my panelists, Michael Tar and Lawrence Yene, with Archie in the background, we and you are there. We are going to make ourselves comfortable to discuss this issue. Want to say welcome and want to say thank you for being there. Want to say good evening to all of you. We want to say good evening, Moserado County. Good evening, my Gibby County. Good evening, Grand Bassa County. Good evening, Bombing County. And good evening, all of those who are listening to us from all different. Uh, sorry.
It's good morning to our side. Don't forget.
Oh, good morning. Jeremy, you see, I told you guys I don't fit. It's 5 minutes after 11 p.m. here, so it's evening to me. So I want to say good morning to all of you. Sorry if I said good evening, and I'll say good morning to all of you. We want to say thank you very much. For those of you who continue to contribute to this program, we want to say thank you. Have we already have our team song?
We have had a teen song, so we'll just go straight to our point.
Okay, so today we have major issues we're going to be talking about. There's some reflections we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about. In fact, the issue we have today to discuss it'll take the whole time. I'm going to take my time to educate you. Those of you who think I can educate you, I'm going to explain to you what the process look like, the legal process look like. I'm going to tell you exactly where the House of Representative Majority Group, represented by Councilor Vani Sherman and Councilor Speaker J. Fanati Kofa, represented by Arthur Johnson and others. We're going to discuss that. There were some moving questions that took place during this hearing, and we are going to delve into those issues. So let's begin by telling you what the Bill of Information is about. What is a Bill of Information? First of all, we want you to understand what is a Bill of Information. So let's provide some understanding here. When you take a case to the Supreme Court, as in the case of Fanatic Kofa, he filed a prohibition against the majority bloc because he believed that there was a violation of the Constitution and their rules, the rules of the House of Representatives. Now, you want to understand why it went to the full bench of the Supreme Court. When the case is filed at the Supreme Court, there are two things that happen. There are two different cases that go to the Supreme Court. One is the remedial cases, and two are the constitutional cases. So constitutional cases we call them original jurisdiction. So in the Supreme Court, if you file a remedial case, which means there are few kind of rates that are called remedial cases. The rate of certiorari. You know what a rate of certiorari is? When you go to the lower court, for instance, you go to the criminal code A, code C, code B, and the civil law court, and you believe that the judge has made a mistake, then you file a writ of certiorari asking the Supreme Court to correct the mistake that the judge had made. A writ of mandamus is a writ to force the government to do the job they need to do. For instance, if the government is supposed to, arrest somebody who is causing trouble, and you say the government is not doing anything, so I'm going to file a writ of mandamus to force the government to do what it's supposed to do. To do its duty, you file a writ of mandamus. There's a writ of quo warranto to question the legal authority of someone, of the government, of anybody. Let's say you sue somebody and the justice minister interfere. You go to the Supreme Court and say, hey, Supreme Court, ask the justice minister, what do they have to be in this case? What business do they have to with this case? And the rate of prohibition is the biggest, it's one of the biggest rates. The rate of prohibition is you telling the Supreme Court, say, hey, I want you to stop what Gibson is doing right now. I don't want him to talk on Blaze FM. Because I believe that when he continues to speak, my rights will be violated. And the Supreme Court can grant that if it is an imminent danger, if it is a violation of the law, especially when it's a violation of the Constitution. And why the Constitution? Why is it important? All of what I'm explaining, I'm leading you to the hearing today. Those of you who heard about what happened in the Supreme Court today, I will help you to understand what happened so you can make an informed decision. Anytime someone raises a constitutional matter, there are 5 justices of the Supreme Court. One of those justices serve in chambers. In other words, that person alone can decide many cases. The case comes before them, you don't need to send it to the Supreme Court before bench. And you can decide those cases. But when there is a constitutional complaint, if somebody says Gibson violated my constitutional right, once that word constitutional right is mentioned, the law provides that the Supreme Court cannot allow the chamber justice to hear that case. It goes to the full bench. Why does it go to the full bench? Because the chamber justice, which is one man, cannot interpret the Constitution for everybody. So it goes to the full bench, which are 5 justices. They look at the constitutional provision, they discuss it, they vote upon it, and they interpret what the Constitution meant. That is what happens when the constitutional issue is raised. And how did the case go to the Supreme Court? How did Kofa get to the Supreme Court? Kofa alleged he filed a writ of hate prohibition with the Supreme Court and told the Supreme Court that 2 things happened. One, that the legislature at the level of the representatives, the House of Representatives, violated their own rules. What are the rules that they violated? Kofa alleged, now Representative Speaker Kofa, I'm talking about Speaker Kofa, is prohibition. He alleged that the majority bloc did not respect the rules that were set aside that govern them. And what did that rule say? According to the rule, that for a person to be removed as speaker, you must have 49 people. Now, where did that rule come from? The rule came from Article 49 of the Constitution. So the rules of the House of Representatives was in obedience of the Constitution. So they were telling, okay, the Constitution tells us that before we remove someone from office, we should have 49 people before we can remove them. But here is the thing. What is so funny about it is that the same rule said that for you to elect a speaker, you should have at least 37%. I think we have that video. I don't know if my guy in studio there, Archie, is able to play that video. Uh,
Which one of them?
yeah, the video right above Makota post is the
Oh,
video.
okay.
No, no, no. I don't think that's it. No, no, no. Sorry. It looked. I didn't send you the video. Oh my God, I didn't send you the video. Okay, so I didn't send you the video, but I will tell you what the video I'm talking about says. The video says, according to Kofa, there were two things at stake. One, the rules of the House of Representatives says, if the rule said, if you want to elect a speaker, you need 37 lawmakers to elect a speaker. But if you want to remove a speaker, you need 49 people to remove a speaker. Now, whether you like it or you don't like it, whether you want to approve that or you don't want to approve that, whether you want to obey that or you don't want to obey that, the laws are the laws. You know the story of how Speaker Kofa was removed, so we're not going to go back there. It's a lot of explanation for us. We want to go straight to the bill of information. So when the Speaker filed a bill of prohibition, the bill of prohibition was argued by both sides. Thank you, Mike Dowie. Thank you very much from Kolahun District. You know what? Kolahun. Somebody is listening to us from Kolahun District. Mike, how are you listening? You want to tell us if you are listening to us by the way of Facebook or you are listening to us by the way of radio. You want to tell us so we know, and then we can increase our signal. So Kofa filed the prohibition. And in the prohibition, the Supreme Court ruled, and all of you know what the Supreme Court said. The Supreme Court said, ultra-virus. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of what the ultra-virus is. You already know what the ultra-virus is. The Supreme Court said whatever was done that did not involve the sitting speaker was ultra-virus. Unfortunately, the Justice Minister and the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia said the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the majority bloc. Therefore, the President of the Republic of Liberia mandated the Justice Minister to submit all budget proceedings to the majority bloc. Thank you very much. It's by Facebook. Okay, thank you for that. I'm watching and following from Complete City, Nima County. This is Harrison God Forever Love B. Thank you very much for Complete all the way there and continue to monitor us. And you can also call our number. Archie Yene will soon call the numbers for you to speak to us. So keep watching. So now we come to the bill of information. After the Supreme Court ruled and the Justice Minister interpreted the ruling of the Supreme Court, which made a majority black to say, oh yeah, we won. Councillor Kofa or Speaker Kofa filed a bill of information. What is a bill of information anyways? Why are we talking about bill of information? You need to know. I'm going to take just 1 minute to tell you what a bill of information is. Because first of all, I'm not a lawyer and I want to tell you what I understand the bill of information to be. The bill of information is filed when the Supreme Court makes a ruling in your favor or against your favor, and it is being allegedly misinterpreted by individuals in the community. And you yourself feel that there are sufficient confusions in the ruling of the Supreme Court. The law provides that you should file an alternative writ, which is called the Bill of Information, requesting the Supreme Court to explain what they said in their previous ruling. In other words, I can tell Archie, I can go to Archie and say, Archie, I asked you to say something yesterday. You said something yesterday, but everybody is confused. Nobody knows what you said. We are all confused. So I want you to clarify what you said. That's what Bill of Information is. And the Bill of Information was filed today. And today, it was the hearing of the Bill of Information. That hearing was recorded. We have a video for that. If you have the time to download our video right above Michael's post about beyond the MCSS protest, there's a video there that we can just show. You can put on the screen. The audio is low. I'm trying to increase the audio. I don't have the time to increase the audio. So the lawyers of Councillor Kofa and the lawyers of the majority black went to the Supreme Court to argue the case. It was interesting. But there were a lot of questions. And just a basic from Nima County. Is that from Nima County? I'm sorry if I'm making a mistake, but I think just
Bese from Nimba.
Yeah, Bese from Nima. Thank you very much. Okay, I pronounced it wrongly, so I'm the error. But Justice Bese from Nima County said the other day that the reason why the Supreme Court bench did not attend the State of the Nation address was because they didn't want to unseat on the gavel of a person who was claiming to be the speaker.
You are ultra-virus.
And on the other side, what did you say?
We also said that they are legitimate.
No, we never said that.
Is that a video?
Yes, that's one of the videos, and I like that. So I want you to play that video a little bit.
And on the other side, what did we say?
We also said that they are legitimate.
No, we never said that.
Unless you said that the
Councillor, this court did not say that. Read from the opinion what the court said.
Your Honor, in effect, if the Supreme Court...
Councillor,
yes, Your Honor.
If you can concede, we can go further. We never use the word legitimate for
no, I just said it's not like you should express it, stated.
No, but then don't say it.
But when you said that the speaker, the presiding officer of the House
Councillor, please read it from the opinion. Read it from the opinion. Yes. Read
the opinion didn't really state that the informant is a legitimate speaker. It didn't say that. But this court also recognizes that the legitimate speaker of the House of Representatives is the informant, co-informant, Councillor Fonati Kofa. Unless the Supreme Court says that the opinion that he gave on December 6th did not recognize the informant Honorable Kofa as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
I think it's reference the opinion.
Mine is on.
Okay. Look, Councillor Johnson.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm taking you back to the definition of the office of the
So now that was the first argument of the informant. Now, how it happens when you go to the court, you who filed the complaint, you argue first, and then you break, and the person who you sue will argue, and then you come back to close the argument. So that was the first argument of the informant. When they say informant, it means the person who filed a bill of information. That was Councilor and Speaker Kofa, who filed a bill of information. These are very, very salient points that he was making. But the justices of the Supreme Court disagree of certain words that he used, that the Speaker Kofa, was legitimate because they didn't want to be misquoted and misled or to mislead the public. So they told him to correct that statement because they didn't say that Councilor Kofa was the legitimate speaker. That was not what was in the ruling. The ruling said that everything that was done that did not meet the quality of Article 33 and 49 of the Constitution was ultra-virus. So they corrected him on that. The Chief Justice raised some questions also to the lawyers of the majority bloc. And the first one was, and I will go there and read it, and if Archie has some time, he will put it up. The first one was, the one I want you to put there, was the question to Vani Sherman. Vani Sherman was arguing how the majority bloc came to be. That the majority bloc disagree with the speaker and they congregated themselves and they made a decision to remove the speaker. So the Chief Justice says something, which is very, very interesting. And I'm going to read it from here. So the Chief Justice said, and I quote, "Your line of argument of this new nomenclature of majority." Now, I want you to underline the word "your new nomenclature." What is a nomenclature? For those of you who are like me, who don't understand big English, nomenclature means the way you describing this new group called majority group. That's what the Chief Justice was asking. Your line of argument, the way you are arguing about this new group called the majority bloc, I haven't seen it legally in the books. Now, when the justice of the Supreme Court talk about the books, they are talking about the laws. So I don't want you to be confused and say the Chief Justice is talking about the books. Maybe she's talking about the Bible. No, she's not talking about the Bible. She's not talking about algebra book. She's not talking about science book. When you hear the justices talking about the books, they are talking about the laws. So in other words, the Chief Justice was telling Councilor Vani Sherman of the majority bloc, the lawyer for the majority bloc, he said, "What kind of thing you talking, Vani Sherman? The way you're talking about a new group here called the majority bloc, I never see it before in the laws. Even within our jurisprudence, when it comes to the legislature." Now, I want you to take careful look at the word jurisprudence. Because you know the problem we have in our country, and we can move that now. You know the problem we have in our country is our inability to understand what we are reading, what other people say, even some of the English we speak. You know, I remember when I used to speak sort of BB words, or I used to be in high school. I just take the dictionary, I study big word, about 200 words. Anytime I'm speaking, I just speak them. Whether I know it or not, I just speak them. That's a problem. So the jurisprudence, you know, the Chief Justice was specific. The Chief Justice said, let me read it one more time. Even within our jurisprudence, in other words, even within our body of law setting, the way our law operates, when it comes to the legislature, I haven't seen the way you are arguing. Never see it before in the books. I never see it before. Vani Sherman, Let's go to the second quote of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. There is a second quote. There is a second quote. And we go to that quote. A quote says, the Chief Justice asked Vani Shemo a question. The Chief Justice asked Vani Shemo a question. Very pivotal question. And I want to read a question for you. Chief Justice Siani Yo asked, does the law say that a group of lawmakers can hold a section elsewhere while the elected speaker is present and summoning them to session? Very important question. For those of you who still believe that Speaker Kofa was right, this question is for you. The Chief Justice asked Vani Shemo. Vani Shemo, yeah, I want to ask you a question. The way you know law like this, all the law you now read, you go to law school, you graduate, you get a master's degree in law, you get your own law firm, you employ lawyers. You are one of the biggest lawyers in Liberia. You've been practicing law more than 30 years now. I want you to tell me, the way you talk, you know law like this, does the law say that some lawmakers, they just decide, they put themselves together while the speaker is sitting, and they can go and have session somewhere, and they say, we are the right people, so we having our own section here. We finish move our speaker now. Does it happen? If some of you heard what Vani Shemo said in a particular question, you'll be surprised. Vani Shemo said the speaker was in another room. In other words, Vani Shemo did not know what to say to the lawmakers, to the justices. He didn't know what to say. Because legally, it was improper, according to the justice question, that some few lawmakers would just wake up. I'm sorry. They would just wake up, they go to another room, they start having section, they say, we are the real people now, we are the me people now, the other men will finish moving the men from them. Bring me some water, let me drink in one of the glasses. So that was a question. Now that we are giving you a context, of what the justices were discussing, today's hearing is everybody's talking about it. I am not saying as I sit here, I cannot tell you whether the justices will rule in favor of Fonatik Kofa or they will rule in favor of the majority black. Why? Because even though the justices might ask tough questions to Fonatik Kofa and his group lawyer, they can still rule in favor of them. Even though the judges can ask, or the justices can ask tough questions to Fonatik group, they can still rule against them. So we can't sit here, I'm not a lawyer, my man Archie here is not a lawyer. We can't sit here and say, oh yeah. The justices are already going to rule in favor of Fonatik Kofa. But there are salient things that we need to look at. You know, one of the questions I really enjoyed, I didn't capture that quotation, but I really did enjoy it. He asked Vani Shemo, he said the way we fire justices, three of the justices decide to go in another room of the Temple of Justice and decide and say we are the real people and we are removing the Chief Justice. He said, right? Vani Shemo said, no. Oh, okay. So if the president of Liberia was elected by the people and 37% of the people come, the president was elected by 51 or 52% or 51%, and 37% come, they say, oh, we want to move the president. Does the president get removed? No. There is a standard set for people to remove people. And the Constitution provides that at least 49 people should meet and discuss. 49 people, 49. There are 73 people, only 49 can remove a speaker. So why is it? I want you to ask yourself tonight, because when we open the line, we want you to make intelligent comment. Why is it that it is so difficult for Richard Coon and his majority black? Remember, I'm on the air. I'm hearing too many noise. I'm on the air. Be careful. I'm hearing noise. Tell me, why is it difficult? Eh?
This is Wake Up Call on Blaze Radio.
Oh, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. So why is it difficult for Fanatikov, not Fanatikova, for Richard Kuhn, if he has the vote, if he has 49 people to remove Fanatikova, how difficult is it that he just go and get the 49 people and remove Richard and remove Fanatikova? This is where the problem is. Because the Constitution provides that for you to be able to remove your speaker, you must have 49 people. And there's a process. The motion will be put on the floor. The resolution will be put on the floor. The resolution will be voted for. And if 49 people vote that J. Fanatic Kofa is no longer the speaker, of course, he has to be kicked out. And we have an interview. I don't know if my guy here actually has an interview. I don't know if I sent that interview to him. It's an interview of that somebody had with Richie Fanatic Kofa. I don't know if I sent that. Did I send that interview to you, Archie?
No, let me see what I'm supposed to be having that. Let me see what is this. Let me listen to this and send it in the chat room.
Yeah, let me see that. I mean, it's an interview with Fanatic Kofa, and Fanatic Kofa makes a great point. He makes a great point about what he believes is the issue. It was an interview that was done by a foreign journalist with Fanatic Kofa. If you get that, please let me know. So in that interview, Fanatic Kofa made a simple. In that interview, Fanatic Kofa made a simple explanation of why he has now resigned. He has not resigned because he believed that there's no need for him to resign. He said, look, we shouldn't even be going to court. We shouldn't be going to court. If we had gone to session, and 49 people have voted to kick me out, I would have left. But the rules were made already. The rules were made. The rules said that 49 people will remove a speaker and 37 will elect a speaker. The rules were not made by Fanatic Kofa. When Samuel Doe they were writing the Constitution, Fanatic Kofa was not part of it. The Constitution was written in 1986. Amos Sawyer and others, Per Brambu and others, Archibald Bonner, they were all part of it. Hilary Bomley, they were all part of it. They wrote the Constitution. They were not Fanatic Kofa. They said that before you remove the speaker, you should have at least 49 people. So Kofa said, hey, if you get it, let me know. Kofa said, look, if you set the rules for the game before the game starts, you can't be in the middle of the game, then you change the rules. So we were having a soccer match, And all the parties, all the teams agree with their team managers and coaches that in this particular foot soccer game we are going to be playing, there will be no penalty. Everybody agreed, no penalty. In the middle of the game, my team, one of my players, fell down in the 18-yard box, and I said, well, my man fell down in the 18-yard box, you play the man find the 18-yard box, we got to have penalty. Why are you changing the rules in the middle of the game? The rule says no penalty. Why are you bringing penalty? That's the same example here. We said we should have 49 people to be able to remove the speaker. You get 42, 43. You not read 49. Why are you removing the speaker? Why don't you go to the rules? That is the crux of the matter. So there are a few questions I'd like to ask tonight. Do you have a pen with you? Do you have copybook? For those of you who are listening, I got a few questions for you. When you call tonight, I want you to answer this question. And I wrote the question down to make sure I don't forget. Question number 1. Just in case, if the Supreme Court ruled in favor of J. Fonati Kofa, will Speaker Kun vacate his office for Fonati Kofa to use it? Just in case, if the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Fonati Kofa, they broke into Fonati Kofa's office and opened it, are they going to give him access back into his office? Just in case the Supreme Court rules in Fonati Kofa's interest, will the budget that was discussed by the majority bloc, will the budget be brought back to be discussed? Just in case, if the Supreme Court rules in Fonati's favor, will the Justice Minister apologize to the country that I lied to the House of Representatives? I lied to the Liberian people. I misinterpreted the Supreme Court ruling the first time. Just in case the Supreme Court ruling is in favor of Fonati Kofa, will all those suspended by the majority bloc be lifted? Will those suspended be lifted?
So here is a video.
Yes, play me that video, please.
Malcolm even sent that video earlier in the chat room.
Let's visit. Let's welcome you, Mr. Yene. Welcome.
Welcome, Mr. Lawrence Yan Yele.
Thank you. I would like to say good morning, Achi. Good evening, CEO.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, 20 minutes to 12 midnight. Yeah, it's still good evening.
So let me play this video.
Yeah, play that video. Let me see.
We're live in Monrovia, and I know some of you, or if not all of you, have heard about the impasse going on right now in the Liberia Parliament. And we have this exclusive opportunity to sit with the Speaker of the Parliament to tell us more about exactly what is going on and to bring better education for you viewers and for Liberians in particular in the diaspora and those who are outside of Liberia to really understand what exactly has been going on.
You cannot be for democracy when it favors you. You have to be for democracy, period. Okay? As I have told you, if 49 of my colleagues come today in the chambers and say, Mr. Speaker, for these reasons, we don't want you, I will step down the very same day. We will not even go to court or go say anything. What is important in any democracy is the Constitution and the rules that we go by. Because we set the rules of the game before we start to play. Okay? we don't make it up as we go along. You don't say before the game 49 is required, then in the middle of the game where we can only reach to 42, so 42 is good enough. Okay? There's a reason why it takes 37 to elect a speaker, but 49 to remove him. Because the Constitution and the framework recognize, okay, that an attack on this branch of government is destabilizing. The only people who will tell you everything is fine in Liberia now are those people who got their head buried in the sand, are those who want to pretend like all is well. But the entire world has now focused on this issue and this problem, and the house is destabilized. You know, there is somebody running around calling himself speaker and looking for recognition that is not giving. Okay? You can't be that dense in your head and that uncaring to say, look, you know, it's well, you know, we have it under control, and the legislature is not functioning. Okay? There are those who say, oh, why don't you resign for the sake of the country? No, why don't we go by the rules of the Constitution and the House for the sake of the country? Okay? Why is it the removal of the speaker is the most important thing on your agenda? Why? Okay? Why is it not the education of children? Why is it not the health of our people? Why is it not the empowerment of women and businesses? Why is it not the rule of law? Why are those not the important things to you? But the important thing to you is the removal of speaker. It's crazy.
That was Honorable Speaker Kofa of the Liberian Parliament.
Thank you very much. That was a video I was trying to say, and Councillor Speaker, Councillor Kofa had this interview, and he tried to portray or present a scenario for Liberians to understand. And personally, I like the part where he said, democracy is not only when it favors you, democracy is also when it doesn't favor you. The rule of law is not only when it favors you. Some people go to court and think that when they lose the case, they say the judge is biased. When they win, that judge is the injured. That's not the way it works. So those questions I will ask him. Final question. I want to ask you, and I'll go to Yene. I'll ask a few questions to Yene. If the Supreme Court rules and says what the majority black did was wrong in the ruling, or a rule in favor of Fanati Kofa, what will happen? What will the president of Liberia do? Will he tell the other speaker, Kun, he say, my man, the Supreme Court rule, you got to go back to your position as a ordinary representative. You'll give Kofa his office. What will happen if the Supreme Court rules? Are they going to return Kofa's security that they already took away from him? Are they going to release his salary and benefit that they have frozen? Are they going to replace or remove all those who were given chairmanship of committees and remove Kofa's appointed chairman of committee? I want to say welcome to Lawrence Yene. Lawrence has been a consistent panelist here. Today, my guy here, Archie Yene, is not feeling too well. He develops headache. But you know, this business, the news business, it really crazy. Even though you get headache, but you still show your face. I don't know. They journalism been there. I think that's sickness inside. Yeah, I think that's sickness. But Archie, what are you hearing today?
Well, what we are hearing, like yesterday, we were at the Temple of Justice. You know, yeah, we went at the Temple of Justice yesterday, and interestingly, we were able to interact with some of the lawmakers from the majority side
Right.
and some from the minority side. But then those from the minority side we interacted with, few of them were sincere enough because questions we asked was, what do they make of the hearing?
Yes.
Do they see the hearing favoring them or not? And one person who was fair enough was Ernest Marcier that said for his thought, he believes that the hearing is 50-50, that nobody stand a chance yet to win or lose, but the Supreme Court going to decide that. And I think it was one of the best answers we expected.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, and I think it's a safe answer. It's a
NMIC is a representative from District Number 4, Nimba County, right?
Account. Yeah, yeah.
okay. That's cool.
And some too, on the other hand, are arguing that for the fact that they are arguing that the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice, still legitimately recognized Fonanti as the Speaker, and therefore it gives ground to Kofa into the process. But we also asked few people who also stated that they sense some ambiguity in the future ruling to come, as it was done in the previous one. So there have been mixed views, but overall, the Supreme Court will be the final appetite to decide as to who becomes the winner or not. Like you said, if Kofa wins, for example, all of what was being done, because this was one of the questions we asked what his name from Sino Candidate District Number 2, Thomas Quia.
Mhm.
Yeah, Thomas Quia, he was part of the minority at first, and later on went to the majority. But
Right.
when asking the question, he said where the law is, in fact, where the decision is where he will always be. So if the Supreme Court says today Kofa remains the lawyer, the legitimate speaker, he comes back because his being there is to work for the people of Sano County, District Number 2, and not
Right. Mhm.
be on one side. So he's being to the majority bloc. It doesn't mean that he's in support of them, but he knows that it is where the decision lies for now.
But
So
sometimes it's good to stand your ground. I mean, if you see something
yeah,
is wrong, you just stand your ground. You just follow the wind. When
and
the
he's one
wind
of those
blow east, you go east. When the wind blow west, you go west.
he's one of those nearest lawmakers who is respected. He's called the elder in the house. But
Mm.
then, if an elder cannot make a decisive decision, I don't know
Yeah,
what.
absolutely. Yeah, it
what, what
questions the elders' elderliness.
so there are mixed views, and automatically you know that there will be mixed views on these matters. But we are wait to see but there are a lot of arguments. There are a lot of arguments. So I'm going to play one more video. Uh, at a later time, there are a lot of arguments in the process, and I love how the Supreme Court bench was taking the argument and how they have begin. If the Supreme Court would have been clear enough from the previous stage, I don't think by now we'll be here. But
Yeah,
now,
let me just say this. There was a great risk that was taken by journalists to do the video, and I think the Supreme Court decided not to bother them because they wanted some clarity. But you know,
there,
videotaping the
there, there
Supreme
were
Court.
yeah, ERBC, and there were two media institutions I was given the
Yeah,
previous.
the Supreme Court normally does not allow people to videotape. I was shocked when I saw the video. I'm like, whoa, these guys will be called for contempt. But it looks like the Supreme Court wanted the word to be out. They wanted the people, the public to see the process and make their own informed judgment. You play that video. I want to say welcome to Michael Ty. Thank you very much, Michael, for coming. What we're going to do, if you are listening to us, we want you to tip your phone and type 799 star 799 star. Uh,
Let,
what
let me
seven?
let me
Man,
read
you call the number, man. I even know the number. Yeah, man.
uh
Yourself, anything, we calling the number, so we're
yeah,
calling the
it's
number now.
star 799 star 60 hash.
Okay, wait. 799 star.
So let me just continue. I'll ask Randy, what is the exact code for this morning?
Yeah, okay. So for today, we're going to ask Rennie to see. They say, Moduo, on air, they not give it to us. Then they expect us to be saying it. How you expect us to be doing it? But so Michael, welcome, Michael. And I saw you putting some materials in the chat room there. Let me read some few comments here from our people who are listening. Again, Mike Dowie is listening by Facebook from the Colahun district. Harrison L. Gore Forever Love say I'm watching and following from Campley City, Nima County. Samson Bartholomew Zach Vargas. He say hi Gibson. I am watching from San Dakota City, Nima County. May God bless you guys for always educating our people. Charles Kama says, I am watching from Central Monrovia, Front Street. Now we are glad. First of all, it's exciting to see somebody watching from Front Street because we thought that all of our signal was just going to Kakata, Bon County, and Bomi and Basso and stuff like that. Now that we know that you are watching from Front Street, that's a great thing. Washington G. Swart says, "Good evening, Chief Lawrence Yene. Everybody get their own man. Lawrence, you get your own man right here. Yeah, that's my man. Nobody,
So
yeah, but I don't know why they can't call my name and just leave it like that for the whole night. Let me be my name morale. They gotta put somebody there just to get my morale. Liberian eminent intellectual Kofa will not resign. It's a definite statement. Let me go to Archie. We'll take a little break. Our team song. Archie will play a little bit of team song while we organize what we bring Michael in. Uh,
so let me just play the video instead.
okay, then yeah, play the video if you can.
Yes.
You get
Uh, so like we were saying, those of you listening to us by way of radio, you can dial the star 799 star 60 # and play with $200 You're gonna win 20,000 or 25,000 dollars Eastern if you play that. So it is a cash giveaway. Uh, Blaze is here to give you money as well. So star 799 star 60 #. Let me play this video. So
yes.
play with $200 and win 20 or 25,000. Let's get this.
If they were the intention of the matter of the Constitution,
Oh,
that once the speaker is
sorry,
not there,
sorry. Let me do this quickly. Let me do this very quick.
Yeah, take your time, my brother. The people are waiting for the information, so go ahead and do your thing.
So, okay, this is the right video. Try to upload it. So, if you just tune it in, we want to say welcome. This is
Welcome to Blaze 90.7. This is Wake Up Call. This is the time your program comes on. And those of you who are listening, we want to give you enough time tonight to be able to comment. But before we do that, we will go to our panelists to tell us what they make of the Supreme Court hearing today, the disposition of the lawyers representing both sides. Archie is having a little headache. It looks like
yeah.
you don't even have headache because you're talking more than me. Then
I tell you.
So
if they were the intention of the matter of the Constitution, that once the speaker is not there, the House cannot.
Dr. Sherman, there is no need to adjust the participation.
No, but you
Either
gave
way, in proceeding.
Your Honor, he gave an opinion.
Just
He gave an opinion. Your Honor, are you telling me that in executing the judgment, which you are executing about the executive, the Minister of Justice may not have had criminal act proceeding? So I'm just trying to
Let them because sometimes you're shy away or you're deliberately hide from the public the law. The Minister of Justice under our law, one of his primary duties is to give a legal opinion to his principal, the president. And this is that he's upon in a whole codified and work for opinions of the Attorney General. Opinions of the Attorney General. So look at that, so we have to know as to if the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General, gives an advice to the President as though the Attorney General is fighting this court or disrespecting this court, no way. Let the world know, let the public know that any opinion, whether on the Supreme Court opinion or on any aspect of the running of the country or the government, it is the duty under the law, the executive law, for the Minister of Justice to give the President an opinion, and it's qualified, is there for everybody to see opinions of the Attorney General. You go to the Ministry of Justice now, you got a qualification of so many opinions of the Attorney General to the President of the Republic of J.J. Rabota. So you don't have this here and just sit quietly and public castigating the court as though, and you're supposed to be educated there. You want to close? You want to close the court? And from there, encourage the Solicitor General. From here, we will need protection from henceforth, adequate protection for every member of the Supreme Court. You will be close
But your Honor, please do hold me responsible for how the public law. Let us say anything about how the public law. I'm educating the public. I'm also educating the public. I'm asking against you that I'm educating the public. Because I don't talk to public. I talk to the court.
That's good. But I'm here educating the public. Well, what's your opinion? People make all kinds of comments, but we felt that somebody said, "Oh, I understand the opinion, but the layman will not understand."
We're live.
Okay.
If they were the intention of the
This is a heated argument between the justices and Councilor Vani Sharma.
But before we go to Marcos CEO, I don't know. I observed this. The Chief Justice was being clear that from now they will need maximum protection,
Accurate.
accurate protection for members of the Supreme Court. I don't know. Is she being? Is she afraid, or what is she trying to say?
The
Because
Chief Justice said recently that people have been threatening her. She said that. Her life have been threatened. Now, if the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, who has never asked for protection,
is now asking for it.
is now asking for protection because they are going to be ruling on the bill of information, it tells us that there's something wrong somewhere. Something wrong somewhere. Why are you asking for protection now? When you made a ruling the other day, you didn't ask for protection, but this ruling, you will soon be making this ruling, and now you're asking for protection. But she made some particular comments, and I want to bring Michael in before I make my own comment. Michael, first of all, let's get your take from what happened today or yesterday.
Yeah, good morning, CEO. Good morning, Ajim. Good morning, Mr. Yene. Good morning to those following us in Radio Land. It's a good thing being here this morning to share thoughts on the unfolding issues in our country. Yeah, I think yesterday was a fascinating day. There were other things, though, not very satisfactory with how things actually turned out. But there was some point they were still sugarcoating some things. But I think uh, on a scale from 1 to 10, they were the leaning. I think it brought some little kind of relief to the public, though the outcome is yet to be pronounced. But there was some sort of relief you could see from the both sides. People who felt defeated from the argument, you could see the outburst on social media already. There are a lot of guys from the majority block speakers side. You saw them on Facebook venting out their anger. You could see that they felt disappointed by virtue of the conversation already. So a lot to have learned from there. But I think the issue of Kofa being speaker was not an issue that was being contested yesterday. Kofa's speakership was not an issue of, it wasn't an issue. One of the issues that was highlighted or being contested was an issue of the deputy speaker presiding while the speaker was still in country. Yeah, the deputy speaker presiding while the speaker was still in country. So the line of somebody trying to push the logic of majority, when you are majority, you are right. I heard Kun pushing out an argument, oh, this game is a number game. When you get majority, it means you know that's not what happens in democracy. In democracy, having majority does
Let
not
me let
always.
me let me let Archie put that up. Why you raised the when Vani Sherman raised the issue that if you have a majority, this is a numbers game. Archie, I want you to put that up. Let's read that. The I think it is the let me see. It is the yeah your line of argument for nomenclature of the majority. It says, now, Michael, this is what the Chief Justice said. When Councillor Sherman talked about that it is a numbers game and when you have a majority, you have the power. He says, she said, the Chief Justice said, your line of argument of this new nomenclature of majority, I haven't seen it legally in the books, in the law books. That's what she meant. They are not in the law. I don't know what kind of argument you are having. I don't see these argument of the majority that you are arguing about. I don't see those kind of argument in the books. Thank you, Archie. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, so that's the basics of the argument. And in democracy, being majority usually doesn't make you right in every instance.
No, it doesn't. No.
So if that's why when there's a leadership there and the majority disfavor the leadership, they gotta wait for election to come before they change the leadership because there's a procedure. You gotta respect the law. The foundation of democracy is respecting what the rule of law says, what is on the book. And when there is a time for taking a procedure, while it's on the book, when majority agrees to what it is a time that you use majority when the majority
Right.
follow what's
Right.
on the book in trying to achieve a particular procedure, that's when you reference majority, not when the majority is violating, because the right of the minority is also protected under
Yes.
democracy. You ain't say, oh, because they put a majority, so anything, oh, that number game, anything they say is right. That logic, I heard the vice president, I heard him pushing it in the content and say, but what can I be brother here? So I don't know.
Eh,
The same thing I hear Vanisha talk about, because it's being majority doesn't necessarily make you right. Even in the legislative politics, there are rules, there are guidelines. The
yes.
foundation is following the rules, not just being in the number. Or if we have agree on the number thing. So that's those were so the takeaway, the issue of the deputy speaker presiding while the speaker was still in the country. The speaker was not out of country. So by virtue of deputy speaker presiding, it was an issue. It was an issue of controversy. That one of the things I brought in controversy. And the other thing that they kept emphasizing was that flawed majority logic.
Mm,
And as a result of those actions, he caused the they describe something as chaos. I think Justice Kabar I talked about his actions have led to the country being led to chaos. When he referenced the issue of breaking the office of the speaker, he referenced the issue of breaking Yeke car, and even the burning of the Capitol building that was mentioned during by the Chief Justice himself. He can say the country is not in chaos because he wanted to deny that the country is. He said, no, these are instances that the country is in chaos, and because you try to create a parallel group inconsistent with what the law says. So I think these were some of the takeaway. The issue here was not about Kofa being speaker. No, Kofa being speaker was not contested. Kofa is speaker. As of the time the ruling was done, Kofa was the speaker. And the logic is if Kofa is not, you say Kofa, they were arguing we are majority, we got 50 votes, we brought you proof. Supreme Court said we do not take proof. Okay, you say you got 50, let's agree that you brought us proof that you got 50 people who agree to remove the speaker. Why can't you carry these 50 people? You wouldn't need 49. Y'all follow the procedure and get the man out. But you can't follow the procedure to get a man out with the 50 people you got, but you still want to bypass the procedure and still get what? And do the thing that are completely off the book, which is wrong.
Okay.
I think those were key points that were raised yesterday. The issue of the deputy speaker presiding, the issue of the flawed logic of the majority bloc, the chaos that the actions have caused, and the potential chaos they stand to put the country in. And those were things that were talked about yesterday, and those are things that we need to pay attention to because that's how they misled. The justice minister, I think one of the places I had issue with the chief justice was trying to sugarcoat the issue of the justice minister. The justice minister was the one that misled the entire country on that particular thing. His opinion was for the president. His opinion is not for the country. He made his opinion to appear that he was not just providing opinion for the president, but he was providing opinion because the executive enforces. So the justice minister stands at that space of of being one of the major person who enforces the law by virtue of heading the justice sector.
Okay.
His opinion, the chief justice tried to do some call and say, oh, his opinion. Yes, he was right with his opinion, the opinion of the Attorney General being there, but the manner in which the opinion was expressed, it became something that.
Yeah, so Marco, if
Okay. Let me
I
make a bridge here. This, if you are listening to us, this is Bliss 90.7 FM, and this is Wake Up Call. Bienvenue aujourd'hui, c'est le réveil, les programmes. But Archie, what are you talking about? You don't know how many French people listening to us. I'm trying to speak to my French people.
Go ahead. Yeah, so
le programme Réveil. Bienvenue aujourd'hui, c'est FM 90.7. Thank you very much. Let me go back to Archie. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, so what I wanted to say is that from what I understood from the Chief Justice is that the guys were kind of holding on to the argument or the interpretation of the Supreme Court, not the Supreme Court, but the Minister of Justice.
Yes.
Yeah, his interpretation or his opinion on the matter. So what I understood from her is that despite he has given his, he should not be that should not be a serious issue because it's obvious that he should give his opinion. But when he gave his opinion, it doesn't mean that it is the law.
No, it's not.
The timing of the opinion and the way they presented the opinion, it became an issue. Because it's
the thing is, if the Chief Justice tried to disabuse people's mind
from the opinion.
Even though people may believe that the Justice Minister may have misinterpreted the opinion of the Supreme Court, but what she said, rulings are intended for lawyers. So Vani Shemon, who is a lawyer for the majority bloc, supposed to know what the Supreme Court ruling is. He doesn't want to rely on the Justice Minister interpretation. You are a lawyer. The man is a lawyer, and you know what the Supreme Court rule on. You can't take the Supreme Court. You can't take the Justice Minister misinterpretation and run with it. he has already interpreted the way he understands it. But that is not the law.
It can anyway change the ruling of the Supreme
It cannot in any way change the ruling. I don't know where Yene. I will go to Yene. Yene, where are you? I will come to you.
What they did that day was it was a coordinated effort to try to exploit the public of the kind of uncertainty the ruling brought forth, because a lot of people claim the ruling was ambiguous by virtue of the both sides claiming victory. Then
I mean, you must say, Michael, that don't know the law, we say it was ambiguous. Lawyers who know the law know it was not ambiguous.
CEO, to
Yeah.
be honest, the lawyers themselves, most of them were. You see, at some point, even on Spoon, when C4 score, one other time join, say that majority black take the day, he join the other side again, they seen the one.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So they themselves, at some point, they were confused. The propaganda overshadowed the entire ruling, and the justice minister sharing his opinion publicly was a coordinated effort to distort the facts. It was not something that his opinion was meant for the president. His opinion was meant to be written down.
That's what the Chief Justice said. That's what
Why
the
do
Chief
you have to publish it? To confuse us?
So here's what I think. Here's what I think. And I think actually it's okay now. So I went to work since 8 o'clock in the morning and I came 9:30. So I'm kind of tired, but I'm here and actually he's not hurting anymore. He talking more than me. So but here's what I think, guys. The justice minister, who happens to be the doyen of the Supreme Court bar, he has a lot of ways to clarify this ruling. Because if the Supreme Court makes a ruling and you are the doyen, the dean, not doyen, but the dean of the Supreme Court bar, it's not even possible to go to the Supreme Court and say with the Chief Justice, what do you guys mean? I mean, you can ask them. They will tell you. Maybe they will not tell you in totality, in the simple, Mr. Justice Minister. You know, and I know that what the people did over there is not right. So the Justice Minister did that because he was mandated to do it. For me, I'm going to accuse Joseph Boakai. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to accuse Joseph Boakai that he is the serious mastermind of this mess we are in.
Exactly.
Michael, I cannot fathom that the president will sit there. The country is breaking apart because of this issue. And he got no solution.
But the president even get one legal advisor saying that told him to take all the turning position, suspend all turning position people, and the legal advisor.
Keita, I don't know whether Keita maybe Keita or not will be lawyer. Maybe Keita or not will be lawyer, but Councilor
he's the one from the president actions. All the president since they making the power, just follow his most of his thing has been contrary to the law. So what is a legal advisor then to the president again?
Who is a legal advisor to the president? When Judy Andy sued Prophet Key for defamation, that Buji Keita dismissed the case. He said no case on Prophet Key. The government cannot prosecute the case. And that the government filed the charges for reckless endangerment of people. And the judge dismissed it. The president removed 10 new people. Buji Keita is the lawyer for the president. He just let the president do it. The central bank governor and other deputy governors, when they remove them, Buji Keita did not advise the president it will be wrong. When they pay off Loshoto, Benjamin Keita did not advise the president whether it was necessary or not necessary. In fact, Councillor Gonglo said on Spoon Talk, I was there that day. He said when he filed his brief on behalf of Eloshus Talu, the government did not file a counter brief. The only thing they did was to negotiate for the case to be withdrawn from court. So if the Supreme Court is having issues with people interpreting their statement, and they assert and say, we made a ruling not for the people in the streets. We made a ruling for lawyers. Lawyers, my people. If we are journalists, if people speak to us in journalistic terms, it won't take Archie a long time to know what he's talking about. He will know what the person is talking about journalistically. If I tell Archie, I say, if you are a journalist, you should have a TR. Archie doesn't need a lawyer to interpret to him what a TR is. Just as a scene with the lawyers, my brother. But I mean, where is Yene? Yene is gone, but to be honest with you guys,
he's having some technical issue.
Yeah, so
okay.
CEO, I think that's my own part of the place. She tried
Yes.
covering up for the justice minister, which I think maybe she wanted to sugarcoat. Yes, she's right that the justice minister
Maybe that our friend, our close body,
his opinion. But what they did was it was actually deliberate.
It was deliberate. It was
deliberate because when people were already confused by virtue of the two sides claiming victory, then the justice minister came now with the president legal advisor, because I actually learned the justice minister himself just read our opinion. It came from right within the president's circle, from that same Buju Ben Keita guys. The justice minister just came and read the opinion. So it was not an opinion that came from the justice minister himself. It was something that they wrote for the justice minister to read officially, to legitimize, the sinner. So I don't know to what end. What did they mean to really benefit? That Speaker Kofa was saying. So nothing else is so important in the country than the remove speaker. Everybody else will start thinking, what about removing a speaker that matters so much?
okay. There you go. So what we're gonna do before Archie, I'm gonna turn it over to you, but I can't leave unless I talk about this, which has to do with the students of the Republic of Liberia. I was stricken with anger. I was stricken with trepidation. I was unhappy that young students, some of these students are local, some of them may be 16, 17, 18, 20. They were in the street to protest. I don't want to consider why maybe somebody, because some people argue that they were being used.
Yeah, CEO, I don't know. I want to recommend this. I know you want to make your comment on that, and I try to get some videos how the students were treated and other things, so that since tomorrow is Friday, we can take our time on the Friday edition to elaborate on that, because the manner in which the police themselves treated the kids, it was so bad. The videos I tried to download for that.
Yes, I saw some videos. What I wanted to say, and I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna leave it. What I wanted to say was, I don't like to blame the victim, Archie. Let me give you an example of blaming the victim. Sometimes, if our children went in this, we were passing somewhere, maybe they played dark, some group of boys jump her and rape her. Instead of the people going after the boys who did that act, the parents or relatives asked the girl, what made you say to buy that corner say?
On that hour.
At that hour. So because I passed in the corner at that hour, does that give anybody the right to do what they did to me?
No.
Somebody wears short skirt. They grab you, they rape you. They say, So, but why you go where that chefs can say yeah, you tempting the people. Listen, our people, they have a bad habit. People are blaming the students, Archie. People are blaming the students. Actually, those students were sons and daughters of the people who voted for Joseph Boakai. Why would a police officer feel if his daughter, if his son was among these children and the fellow police officer were brutalizing them? What will you feel? But I'm going to leave it today. I'm going to leave it. And then Friday, we will gather all our pieces of information, including the evidence of the MCSS or superintendent allegation against the other, because that's a major thing that they use the students to put in the street to cover up for the crimes of these people. We're going to wait and tomorrow, but we have to be honest. We have to be honest with ourselves. The way our police can treat our students, harmless, unarmed student,
The,
not posing,
the, the
not
police,
posing a threat. Michael, these kids don't pose any threat to the police.
the police is just unscrupulous. I mean,
So,
police,
guys,
police are just,
to be honest,
police are just
I like to be on the other side. I know pretty soon you'll be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
I
is
wanna,
go on in the comments? Yeah, you don't want to.
Oh,
I
oh,
hear one reason. I don't want to read the other comment, but someone one
yeah,
sign
go
say
ahead.
it was Zaju, but you read the comment and I saw your name there. You said that only you miss a unit. So I the latest one, I think one came from okay,
this
from
person call this person call you.
Abu Jawara. Abu Jawara say I'm watching from my home my home New Georgia Estate. Then we have Ambassador Kona Rufus. Good morning. I'm following from Dupont Road. We have Aaron Vesely. The Supreme Court was clear in their first ruling. It is the Justice Minister that misled the majority bloc. Somebody is saying similar thing.
Let the majority block blame the justice minister and
Liberian eminent intellectual says Market people were okay, man, but Market people were not confused. They knew exactly what they were doing. And he went on to say Bloody Tuesday, I think it was just relative to what you were just saying. Bloody Tuesday 2011 and Bloody Tuesday 2025, same unity party. Yes. So,
some people can remember the thing. They can both remember the evidence, the event.
So let's
No,
see how we
why?
can
No. Actually, why Marco gets special interest in reading the comment tonight? We never see you read.
no,
I
no,
remember
but I mean, you were
the
reading
call.
the comment, other people comment scheme, so you didn't see it. I was like, just try doing justice to read it.
So, my man, this year we gotta investigate. We launch investigation right here and now. But yeah,
I
look,
just
I
trying
mean,
to do justice. You got some
yeah,
legs already.
okay. We take it as
So let's
that.
let's see. We're going
Marco
to
is
the
doing
2 minutes after
justice.
5. It's 22 minutes after 5. Let's see how we can get some callers.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so we can get some callers. Folks, if you're just joining us, this is Wake Up Call on Blaze Radio 90.7. My name is Archie Sebabine, and I'm here with the CEO, Marcos Francis Time. Mr. Lawrence was also here. He has some technical problem. He has to leave. And you listen to the argument from the Supreme Court yesterday. We give our analysis on that. And the numbers are on the screen: 07779079070, 0887 female line 0778075616, and the WhatsApp number +231 888 Please, if you call, please go to the point. Yesterday I have issue with somebody with that. Forget about what we say. Make your own point. That's what you call for. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, let me adjust this. Just be on the line. Okay, go ahead. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
What is your name and where you call from?
Thank you. My name is Lasana Thomas Sankara Konan John Komodo Rafi House.
Go ahead.
Basically, everything was said yesterday. You know, that our people will always have to defend the wrong. The Supreme Court at the time made no mistake. That's the reason why they try educating Mr. Vani Sherman, who is a seasoned lawyer, who should be advising the majority black man, y'all go back on a fanatic. If y'all want to remove the man, get the number and remove the man. Nobody's stopping you to remove the man, but they want to behave like dictator. But the reason why the madam is calling for more security around her is Jean Colette and for the family. They have been, the two persons really been arrogant in the whole process. There was a process, Jean Colette and for the family, they have the ability to go to that madam and attack her at night. Because if Jean Colette can go to the Capitol building and pause the speaker of the for the family when he said the other people in Kinshasa, I don't know what you say about the Obama statement yesterday. So you have to be careful because this is Liberia, and in Liberia, the moral police will soon come out and start denigrating her.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning. What is your name?
I'm K. Public Medical 7 calling from Soge 11 Joffy.
Go ahead.
Yeah, pertaining to the student issue.
Okay.
What they put to the students, it was very ugly and unprofessional. Because you have these students, you go to school, you sit in the class, waiting for their children to say, my child go to school. They know instructors.
Thank you.
So my request, to Julia Yuma Baga, I want the unity party there, I was in a Baga or in a ring, we voted Joe Baga to become president for this country.
Okay.
Because of the ugly thing Joe okay, in the country, we continue Joe we are.
All right.
So Baga, let go come and resign for that kind of clandestine we get on our students.
Thank you. So thank you so much. So folks, if you call, please let's stick to the Supreme Court issue. We don't want to dilute that of the students issue. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the students matter here. Let's get this person, we lost this caller, please. Because we want you to give your opinion on what happened, on what they discussed yesterday. This is about you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What is your name?
My name is Francis.
Please lower your radio, Chief.
It's okay?
Just go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much for the topic under discussion. I will not hold anybody accountable of what happened in the house, but the president. The president is all over boss. And in the house, they get other council. If something is going on in the house, I believe that the president has a power to call the other council to put their house in orders. And that's part of what the court did. The court called them, they tell them, say, my man, you go back in your house and settle your house matter. They take that to be right. And it was not right that was given today. It is like you have your woman, and then you take complaint to your father. Then your father said, Mama, you and your woman, you all go back and settle your house matter. Then you go back, you say, oh, your father gave me right.
So you blame the president?
I blame the president.
Thank you. Good morning, Fred. It's been a while. Good morning.
Good morning, Archie. How are you?
I'm good. Go ahead, Fred. It's been a while.
I'm good, yeah. But I've been following the conversation online as well.
Okay.
This is a good conversation that is going on this morning in studio. Initially, since I started calling on your platform, I clearly stated that the decision by the Supreme Court was not ambiguous. It was very clear in the manner for everyone to understand. Now, and you listen to what the Chief Justice said, but the decision of the court is not the court for the ordinary people in the market. And that's the reason why parties, both litigants, had lawyers. They were represented by lawyers. Now, those lawyers have a duty first to the clients, and the lawyers have a duty to the court, which is the administration of justice. Mm-hmm. So you cannot go and interpret and misinterpret the meaning of ultra-virus, which every one of them did in law. Okay. It's administrative law. In administrative law, when a decision is ultra-virus, it means there's a lack of procedural fairness. And you listen to the Supreme Court argument yesterday into the court. Everything was about procedures. Yes, you have the numbers. Did you follow the procedure? People want to compare the removal of Kabina Jane to the removal of Funati Kofa. They are not the same. We may have issues about Kabina Jane, but there were procedures, there were processes that were followed. If you have an issue with Funati Kofa, there are procedures and processes that were not followed. And it's the procedures and processes that the Supreme Court said it is auto-virus.
Okay.
So we cannot keep moving the country this way going forward. And definitely, I believe that the Supreme Court is not going to change the original decision. People also agree that you know why the Supreme Court does not have jurisdiction over the legislature. It means that they have not read the Constitution. Article 65 and 66 of the Constitution give the Supreme Court original jurisdiction on discussing constitutional issues. The removal of Funati Kofa is a constitutional issue. And then when you go to Title 17 of the Judicial Act, Section 2.1 and 2.2, give the Supreme Court original jurisdiction. I was not the one who developed the Judicial Act law, it was the legislator who passed that. So if the lawmakers do not understand the law, we have a fundamental in our country, and we have to solve that. And that's the reason why the last time I said, if each of the lawmakers had a lawyer or a law student in their offices, then we have understood this political issue.
Okay. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you. That's just not for the this morning.
Thank you so much. Let's get Nancy. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank God this morning for each and every one of us to please cancel a morning meeting. What I want to say this morning is that if the Liberians, 75% of the Liberians can be the fanatic profile, it will be alright. If we can take things with law, it will be okay. To put the violence one side, because the violence here, it can't solve problem. In some cases, it can solve it though, but when it comes to some matter, violence will not solve the problem. And what really I want to say to the leadership this morning is that they should please be observing their objectives. When you are a teacher, when you are teaching, the topic that you're teaching on, there should be certain things that you're expecting for your students to know at the end of the lesson. So be looking at whatsoever promises that they made to the Liberian people, because confusion will not solve the problem. So when they say that, they be thinking how to solve the problem. We know that to rule it is difficult.
Okay.
Even you put few ladies together as dealing with just for the two women as organization, I know what I'm going through. But in so doing, when you are dealing with people, you should take them to be your children. That when some problem comes, you should go back as a way when you discipline your child, you can calm down. It's not everything. So he should be able to be looking at the people that his children, that when they do something, it's not everything that somebody do in your leadership, you will take step that will go against your leadership. And then Papa is old. And when he all those who surrounded him are those that will be setting out to say that wrong some decision, there is a way, there are some things that when he is doing it, that they will be able to drag him closer and say, Papa, there is not the rightful way we're supposed to do it, but nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to carry on violence. So like in Liberia here too, the people don't respect education yet. Because if I can be pleading for education, you know how many people in the Donsa today, if I can be pleading for education, then somebody harm me, why I should say I want to learn? What the sense are into it?
Okay.
So that the people please try me.
Thank you, Nancy. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Zibo.
Good morning. What is your name? Go ahead, Chief.
No, my brother, this thing that happening in this country here, our lawmakers don't really know what to call the law. Don't call them the lawmaker. You can be a lawmaker and you don't even understand any law, even your own law that you make. You're fighting over it today, fighting over it. I've got so many problems in this country to be. But if you don't understand the whole law, that's the reason why they're fighting over law. If you don't understand the law, then they're setting everything Yes? Let them go in this country, yes. And this old man who said that he has so many years experience, he doesn't know anything about law. So he's sitting there, because they're studying the government, and he sees that something good is happening on behalf of him. Nothing good is happening on Joseph government. So let Joseph government think, and those guys who say that they are lawmakers, they are very low. Yesterday, the explanation that we all say is that they are not doing good for this country yet. Let them go back and when see what to do. All my children should go and sit down and think of this country yet. They shouldn't be disturbing this country yet. They are very old enough. They are very old enough. The country is old enough to be fighting over constitution, especially your own lawyer mate. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
What is your name and where you come from?
My name is A. Genrechi. I'm calling from Little Town. Thank God. You see, when the SACA at the Capitol building is gone, the Supreme Court made everything easier. According to the verdict at that time, before they used the word ultra-violence, the Chief Justice said return to status quo. If they are telling you return to status quo, that means go back to the chamber and let the speaker be present and put the case on the table. The speaker will recuse and say he is guilty. You can have election and replace him. But the minister of justice and including the executive are the cause of the problem that we are in today. This mess addressed him. So the justice minister thwarted the whole interpretation in favor of the majority bloc. And the president himself, President Boakai, being a leader of 42 years old experienced politician in government, should have known better to say no, Mr. Justice Minister. I don't think this is what the Supreme Court said. And everybody in Congo have a meeting and resolve the issue peacefully. But he said he could not with the majority bloc. Before taking oath as the president of the country, the oath was based on constitution, subject to the constitution. At this time, President Boakai has violated the constitution. And if the Supreme Court gave a verdict that don't go the way of the majority bloc, I am using this medium now to ask all Nigerians, let us rise against this administration and President Boakai should resign.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for the television. Francis Kofa calling from Congo. Like for the unions whether the government really, even though everybody put the but even September last year, we have added more activity. October, we got removed. December, capital building got on fire. December, if you worry, presently, and now there's a variety. Everybody knows. Not only the other saga, but there are seven only different services class. The Supreme Court ruling and the same Supreme Court ruling are liver store. The Supreme Court ruling, the Supreme Court ruling, the father, the king, the majority black. It didn't listen to like when was taking it. I don't want to say that the Lord says, and then people and say, thank you for the story.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you.
What is your name?
My name is Francis Valley. I joined in from Four River Recording.
Four River, go ahead.
Thank you very much for the discussion. The issue of the Justice Minister to instruct the majority speaker to go and remove somebody by spotting the question I take that to be as a someone who can take drugs because as a lawmaker or if you call yourself as a speaker, that is not the way to behave. And another issue, by inciting the Liberian National Police to beat on people, if they don't stop that, we the Liberian people will rally against the Liberian National Police because the violence is too much in this government by the police. Thank you very
0779907907077780756. One says the female line 0887111107. Good morning, this person. Good morning. What is your name?
To you, good morning. Good morning to many listeners. The same question. Yeah, my brother, let me tell you thank you very much for the hard work because you learn your stupid math and you're doing this for the reading Liberian people. So I will say God bless you for everything. And straight to the issue. You see, Mr. Braga, the 40-year experience or 45-year experience, the Liberians, the people who voted for him were speaking about this is the 45-year experience because the 45 years ago, you know, the same way the government was ruling the country, I can say leading, it was the same way from a client to then when we were ruling the country, when we say, oh, the minister do this, they will not hesitate, they will not hesitate, they will fire a minister or they will suspend a minister. You see, this country, we are going backward. Yesterday, I listened to the Human Rights Report. When you listen to the Human Rights Report 2024, they are very much diminishing. To tell you that this country is just going out, depending on because one more thing the president of the first time is going to the Supreme Court where the people said they should go back to actual house. The people leave that space to see, to know whether the president will use his own leadership ability to go to put that people under control. You get me? Even though the executive branch can interfere in the legislative branch, there is just a way in which you pay a full name, you call your police, say, you do this. It's in the favor of the country for the country's sake. When you sat there, monotonous state, you witnessed it, you supported it. All the men out there that part of the majority of blood, they are there because they have the receiving huge sum of money from the executive branch. You're receiving huge sum of money from the president. And why you see it there? When the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice make it clear yesterday, you need no right to tell you that for the cover and won the case. So we are waiting for the final from down the line. The Chief Justice will come to the party cover and won the case. I will see Rachel Boone saying because we are we'll go for him, we'll pay for our office. We'll stand up. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm good. What is your name and where you come from?
My name is Abraham B. Chapter. I'm calling from Baptist Seminary, Cadendry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the only way the country was, or the crisis in the building that settled is Joseph Nyiman Boakai, the current president. He resigned. He and the vice president. We put interim leader there because the thing that going on, oh man, let me tell you something. He is the engine whole show. He is the whole engineer. He is the cause for anything to happen today. He get a quiet. So what do you say? If you get a quiet, remove the speaker from power. So the only solution to it for to have peace in the country now. The president and the vice president resign and will put interim leader. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 07790790788711107. Let's get this person. We'll get a few more calls before we get back to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Nelson calling from Patton Bell.
Go ahead.
Yeah, brother, I'm calling this morning. Yeah, it's true that the court ruling I said all yesterday, and as citizen of Liberia,
It was the hearing, so they were
the hearing yesterday, and that should have been done long times ago. Now it's happening. So we are, as citizens of Liberia, we are begging for Nantikufas. He is 100% right on the side of the law. We are begging to come down, to resign for the citizen, for the sake of the citizen, not for the irregular guys who call themselves majority bloc. We know they are greedy for power, so we are appealing to Nantikufas to step down as a speaker, please. Because this guy, they will not allow themselves to sit on a council of Nantikufas gavel. And it will not. Brother, just trust my word today. If they go for session, they will conduct themselves different because of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I get this person. Good morning.
Well, good morning.
What is your name?
I'm Joseph Freeman from Broadway. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. Go ahead.
You know, in how much the court had not come down with all of their, to be definite, for me, I believe that we could remain quiet because keep preeming this and that, the person wrong, the person right. You are not cope with the authority in that studio to say this, that, to say anything against the person, the way you fare. So when the issue is in the court, you know definitely that when the issue in court, you don't need to discuss it. And you know that.
Why are you calling? Why are you calling? Just hold on, please. You know, sometimes I feel baffled, right, with some of the attitudes. I'm here. Have I said somebody win or lose, or have I said somebody going to win or lose? Callers are giving their opinion, and let why you called. So who stop you or who asked you to call if you know the issue is still in court? Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. What is your name?
My name is Melvin Besman, and I call from the Benson Hospital.
Go ahead.
Yeah. When it comes to the whole issue about the removal of Nantikufas, I think we will hold president responsible for it. But in the first place,
The president, please. The president said no executive marshal and you're holding him on the other side.
yeah, in the first place, he took Funadi from here and the two of them travel. So it was almost as I was clear. Why Funadi was here all the time and the majority bloc did not come out to see it. They want to remove him. After Mr. Baga and Funadi travel, the guys started the whole thing. And after Funadi came back, we observed that the president did not do anything. In fact, he had to say what going on. He doesn't know anything about it. Yeah, I think they have to tell Funadi thank you for being very persistent because there was just going to be another procedure that the guys were just going to be firing the house. I think it's too. Yeah, much the court had not come up with the ruling. I want to thank you for being a persistent person.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Morning. What is your name?
Okay, this is TMB Wilson, and I do join you from GSA Rockwood Tree.
Go ahead, Brian.
Let me say thank you to you for your talking friend. Why I say that the issue is still pending in court, but I do believe after hearing the argument, yes.
Hello. Oh, Abraham, you can call back. I don't know. You can just call back. Good morning, Bayoga.
Yeah, Kumachi. Yeah, this is everybody. Thank you. Thank you for the expansion last time. Are you a parable? What again, pastor? Who are getting the whole? Yeah. So, man, that's somebody who they vote for, but when you not vote for you, we me, that will not be found. Anybody who not vote for you, you just go somewhere. It can be hard for you. So I use the Bible. When water passing over hole is full, then the hole when it's full before it go. So along the vote for Kofa, God will be with him. He will say be there. So thank you.
Well, let me see. We don't have time. Let's see if we can get one or two calls, and we will call this a day. Let's get this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is your name and where you call from?
Mr. Samuel Blado calling from Peace Island, Congo.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Okay, brother. Good morning to everybody in the this issue with Nantikufas, for me, people are blaming other people. That whole is too political. Is the situation. These guys, the party many the guy in our house. You see in unity party, those are the people that are spoiling our country. These guys do the same thing in other one country, they do the same thing. They get them all backward. They feel they have the right to do the two party and get them out of leadership in this country also can they see like this guy only come to accomplish their mission. Can you imagine people bringing the president, they bring the Supreme Court, yeah, of course. The Supreme Court for me are bringing they delay. If that people are not going back for their information, what should have done today? They cost all these things. And also the solution. You see Thomas Farah? When they started talking about party medics who will do the fire saluting one another. All the saluting things today are escalated. They are bringing president. Where is the party? Where is the CDC party that was supposed to Olami Kofa? All of them are going and join the UA party because they want money. They want to do this in our country. So this is the situation we're facing in the country. How to get the party all of this country here. Those two parties they are disturbing us. They are very, very wicked.
Thank you. Let's
So
quickly
much.
express is our final caller. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. What is your name and where you call from?
I'm Samuel Bowie talking to you from Bonao.
Go ahead.
Yes, okay, you. But what is unfolding in this country, even the least citizen of the country is suffering from the behavior that goes on. Because if no investor, nothing because of what they do in power struggle. Things will be hard for everyone. I just want to tell them this. The way to up is down and the way to down is up. They are enjoying the country today is because of the low men putting in there. And tomorrow when they're coming down, they're coming back to low men. So they should know that. But the country is not together. Things are tough. They may not notice it because they get what they get today. But they are not thinking about the low men that make them to be where they are. So that they have it in my 6th year, it was so finished.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
thank you for giving me.
Thank you so much. So, folks, thanks for the call. We are not accepting calls anymore. Let me get to Michael. The CEO just left. Let me get to Michael and he will conclude. Always. So, Michael, welcome back. The CEO is back, but he lost connection. Yeah. So, just be talking while he comes back.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people share their thoughts already, and most of them agreed with what we said. The issue was clear enough. It was hijacked by propaganda, and the justice minister, who is expected to know better, he was one of those who even made it worse. I think they made it deliberately because even if the legal advisor of the president, the Keita guy and whoever wrote that particular opinion, the Justice Minister opinion, the Attorney General opinion should be written by the Attorney General, not somebody else writing an opinion for you to read. And they read it deliberately to mislead people, which was very disingenuous and unfortunate for the country. You can't do that, especially when much is given to you. Like a word that says, "The whom much is given, much is much is expected." So I think yesterday, with the line, with the pattern, the way the conversation was tailored, the pattern of the questioning was done, a lot of people had a clue already how things, are going to be, because deliberately, how it was, the people say, "Oh, what you did was ultra virus." You say, "No," the police say ultra virus, not all they talking to. Just imagine the scene where they carried out that majority argument yesterday, that anything majority, a majority black, whatever a majority black does is right. That's the same logic they were pushing yesterday. Yeah, so the flawed logic deliberately, and it is important to note Vanish Shemo. There are a lot of controversies. People try to push their own line in this thing. Vanish Shemo was part of this big ball one, big ball two controversy. I think he has some personal issue with Kofa. I think that's one of the bottom line. Imagine you are in a group and you are listening to people for the personal opinion to guide you, and most of these people, their opinion I being influenced by personal issues that they have with the person that they are going against, not actually what they feel. So you see, Buju Ben Keita or Vanish Money, these are people that got personal issues with Kofa. And the other politicians on the other side who want cover up because they want keep milking a budget, cover type of auditing government in a play Tifa going say you want consolidate power. But I think the logic, as I'm reliably informed, there are other people from the UP now that they are getting offended with the way things are going. It was informed that some of them have started making comments that Kung want to spoil your government, which appears to be true because I don't know what's the logic of trying to get Kofa out. Kofa has never been a threat to the government. So fighting this hard, tarnishing the image of this government, going to the extra length. It's not you are not just doing it locally, internationally. People know that there's a problem in Liberia. ECOWAS has come here. Like this is ECOWAS. I think this was ECOWAS' third time come here for this same impasse. To what end? You, as a sitting vice president, what do you really intend to achieve? So Kufa was saying something yesterday, Speaker Kufa was saying something yesterday. He said all these things are affecting the country. The people are not bent on, putting a lot of pressure on them, but they are so bent on taking down the speaker and removing a speaker. So there must be something fundamentally wrong with this thing. To what end? Why are they trying to remove the speaker? Is it just about regime speaker like Richard Kun said, or is it something far deeper than just regime speaker? Because the legislature, if you say you are a government that wants to fight corruption, you want check and balance, then there will be no business as usual. You should have a legislature that will be able to, checkmate some of the things that the executive will do. It will help to put you in order. Because if you don't have anybody that is questioning you, and you have a legislature that is passive, it becomes a problem. Because all the corruption thing, nobody will question you. You'll be witch hunting people, nobody will question you. Then it becomes an issue. So if Kun, like somebody is saying, Kun and others know the president is incapacitated, if he dare say anything, they will impeach him. They can impeach the president now, bro. I mean, they will want to do what they can do, but they can't impeach him. The optics will not even favor them in the first place. Their own UP people will turn against them. So we know, but everybody knows. The country knows. Liberia is too small. When you know somebody. One time, Tiawan Konglo was saying something, and I carefully listened to him. He said, "When you the big man, said when you doing something and thing, doing corruption something or something, somebody will know because you'll be making call even in your car." And your driver too will know somebody that you will have to lecture to, the driver that will eavesdrop that particular conversation with them, one of your own friend. And that's how the news can circulate. So everybody knows Kun Hen is beyond this particular thing. A lot of people know they have been convincing the president. Initially, the president may have not bought that idea. They convinced him that Kofa is a threat. That Kofa was the one who stopped your yellow machines on it. That Kofa was the one you were putting some money in the budget. He stopped it. And they made it appear that, oh, when we take over from that Kofa, will take the government down. That's the logic they are putting forth, Gregory, and those are the justification they are doing. They're killing people, children. You see,
Oh,
babies were in the street, they were tear gassing them, beating them. When you do also, those are the kind of justification. Oh, we get a poaching, we take the government down. Are you kidding me?
all right, Michael.
So like, these are some of the problems. Oh, okay. The time said went so fast. So I mean, yeah. So just to conclude, we have all seen it yesterday, and we saw the emphasis of the conversation yesterday. It was about a parallel session. The deputy speaker presiding while the speaker is in country, and and essentially say Reggie Kun is not even Rayakun was not an issue because the first thing the procedure to even removing a speaker was not even adhered to. So Rachel Kun can be an issue. So Rachel Kun, everything concerning it. So that particular thing about the deputy speaker presiding and the things that happened afterward, it was leading to chaos, leading the country to chaos. We need to emphasize that chaos part to talk about, and they mentioned something. Vanessa wanted to, they mentioned the Yeke instance, they mentioned the capital building instance, they mentioned
So I'll try to, if you find it, you can cut that portion and send it to the chat room.
yeah, so those are things. The actions of the people is not actually just ultra viral anymore. It has started leading the country to chaos, and we saw the aftermath within the period of the last 6 months. So the president is a wake up call for the president. This is the time he can save himself from all these drama. People will know when the Supreme Court come up with running the dead challenge to say, oh, we moving. The legislature does not have power on its own. When the executive is supporting them with any money, that many 45 million, and we're gonna do the year running more than in 1 or 2 data, that whole thing finished. The executive has been the power behind this whole thing. If they stand down, this whole case is closed. But it was a pleasure being here today. Hats off to our people who followed, and thanks to our callers. It was a good thing being here. Once again, my name is Michael Francis, and thank you.
Thank you so much. So, thanks to Michael, the CEO, who was here at control, and thanks to Mr. Yene, who also came in, but later on have a little technical problem. He has to leave. I've been experiencing this kind of a headache. That's why you're experiencing the low quality of voice. But however, it was better to be here. It was wonderful being here with you and our panelists. Thanks for always listening. Thanks to those of you who followed our live on Facebook and YouTube. We always appreciate you following us. And like we always said, if you think we are discussing some issues that you are not satisfied with, you want to be counter arguing, instead of you getting a few minutes to call, apply, be on the show. Take your time. The time you can be listening is good. Put in some data to your phone. We allow you access to the show. You will be in studio with us, and we'll be giving you time to talk as you counter argue some of the things we also argue here, right? And you will be given the privilege. The platform is here for everyone, and we allow you to talk if you want to. Sometimes I only have problem when people saying different thing and you yourself want to say different thing. That's the problem. So somebody say the issue is equal. Why should I be talking about and say somebody will win or not? Did I say somebody will win or not? Callers I called in and gave their views. So they are thinking, what will happen? So you two say, just say what you can say that you feel the best, instead of pointing finger at somebody or doing something the other way around. So, but it's good always to be here. This is wake up call. It is just a minute past 6 a.m. this morning, and I'd like to say good morning. And this is how I like to bid you all a pleasant goodbye for now. Join us tomorrow, Friday, for the Friday's edition of the program Wake Up Call on Blaze Radio 90.7. And of course, my name is Archie. Say Bob, you never remember, don't trouble before trouble you. Have yourself a blessed day. I love you.